Ciao a tutti. Today we're doing another live stream and we will be talking about driving in Italy.
Well, we've rented a car now for a week. It's actually kind of nice now in Scala. And when we first came here, there were no local rental car agencies. You either had to rent in Rome, Naples, or Lamezia. We tended to rent locally there were a few private parties that had one or two extra cars that they rented out, and we did that for a while, and that worked out okay. But now we have two good agencies in our area. The one we're renting from this trip is JAD, J-A-D, who are located right in town of Villaloro. We've rented from them a number of times, and we like the service we've generally got. It's been pretty pleasant. The thing you have to know is that you will need not only your driver's license, but your international driver's license and your passport when you show up at the office. And it's best to reserve a car, and then go down ahead of time and get all the paperwork done. And for us, it's easy because they're just down the street from us. And then once that's done, then you get a price from them, and away you go. It's not quite the same as Hertz, but to tell you the truth, when we were leaving San Francisco, we rented a car to get to the airport, and the car wasn't that clean or that as they used to be. They're trying to save money, save water, save everything, save service. So I used to compare rental cars here in Europe to that, and I'd say now they're about on the same par. It's fine. Car is nice, and now we're on the freeway. We're actually on the Autostrada now, the highway to Salerno. It's interesting driving out of Scala. We're on the coast. We have to take the coast highway, which is what we have in California, and then now we're on the big freeway, and we get to drive fast. I like the smaller road. It's kind of scenic, as long as it's not too crowded and there are not people tailgating you like crazy. And it wasn't that way today. It was pretty nice. And now we're on the main highway. This is one that runs north and south, and from here on out, it's just a straight shot to Salerno. And the reason I like the IKEA is it's outside of town, so it's pretty easy to get to. A couple of little tricky turns, but in general, it's better than driving through town. Though I did drive through Salerno one time, and it wasn't bad. I've driven in Cosenza, and I don't really like that. It can get very crowded in the center. But we drove to the center of Salerno, and it's not bad. And we parked near the train station, which is really easy to get to. And then if you park there, the city center is right there. It's a short walk, so that was nice. But I'd say in general, we'd rather take the train to Salerno. Let you off at the same place.
When we go visiting Salerno, like tourists, then it's better with the train. But the easiest IKEA from us is Salerno, and that straight shot to the parking lot.
Yeah.
So it's really good. We don't even go to town, right?
No, it's outside of town. It's nice. public speeding here. Get out of the way.
Lots of tunnels.
Yeah.
So
The weather seems to be clearing up, holding nicely.
there is a forest right on that tunnel. We can't see because of the window, but here the tunnel. I think this is one is long one.
It's a very nice highway, actually.
Yeah.
Very smooth. Roomy.
So we don't have anywhere paid parts with this one, no?
No, there are no tolls around here. I think as you get into Salerno, there are a few places where there are toll roads that we run into.
Okay, you can see all the little towns here on the hills. It's very nice. There's a little bit of rain.
Hopefully over the next couple of days we'll come up to one of these other towns
Yeah,
that's a little off the beaten path. We've said before, most of our trips we do by train. It's nice not having to drive. But there are a few places it's much easier to drive than take the train.
yeah, especially all the towns in the hills. There is no way to get because most of them don't even have the bus service. So this one is very cool. I think this one is a long.
This is a very long tunnel.
That's a long tunnel. So enjoy this
Oh, there goes
tunnel. Oh, police. Wow,
Oh.
another one.
unmarked police cars.
Wow, wow.
Oh, what are those people doing? People are crazy if you ask me.
Well, you can see a
I
little
hope
bit
they're
of
all police.
Italian driving.
Weird. But yeah, it was unmarked police cars flashing their lights. Interesting. Either they're in a hurry to go to something or that somebody important is in that
Driving.
motorcade because there's a bunch of cars that together there.
See how long the tunnel was. Really. Yay, we're back to the road. 8 minutes. We've been talking for 8 minutes. Hopefully the audio is good.
Yeah.
Because when I would try to shoot anything in the car, but I thought it was a good idea to actually talk about driving in the car.
While we're driving.
Right, while we're driving, yeah. Right, another tunnel. See how many tunnels. And by the way, it means that you lose your internet service connection. So if you call in somebody, there's lots of tunnels.
One thing about the tunnels, and right now it's not so much of a problem, but during the sunny season, summer and spring, if you go from a bright outside into a tunnel, suddenly you can't see a thing, and then about the time your eyes are getting adjusted, you pop out the other side and you're blinded. So it's something to be aware of. It can be disconcerting if you're not used to that. Today it's pretty even, and the lights in the tunnel are good.
So what do you think about the drivers? Are they Portuguese? Are they?
Yeah, they're Italian. They go fast. They like to pass. You know. One thing I found that I've had to learn too is when somebody is passing you, I tend to pull more over to the right because they come back into your lane before they've actually gotten past you. So if you're too far to the left, you're in danger of being clipped because they're expecting you to get out of the way. at least move a little bit to the right. I think it's a smart thing to do.
And the tunnel. Here it's kind of like crowded with all these cars around us.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, usually it's like almost empty. Can be sometimes, right? We can drive certain pieces with just a couple cars here and there.
You can see the lights in this tunnel are pretty nice. There's a couple of tunnels when we're going to, I think it's Cosenza, that are super dark.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, if it's bright out, it's really hard. Your eyes are going crazy. You're either blinded or you can't see a thing. And we'll pass all the trucks. It's kind of nice being on this big open road where you can see some of the hill towns.
You can see on the back, far away, you can see the... And it's here in Tibet, you can see close up. Here we have the towns. Every hill has some towns. Probably with centro storico, some landmarks, and something to investigate. You can tell the story about driving to Amalfi coast.
I try not to remember that drive. It's something I wouldn't do again. You have to be brave. I don't know how I got talked into it, but I agreed to drive to Amalfi.
You proposed to drive to Amalfi.
I didn't. I couldn't have. I would have never done that. But somehow or another, we got headed that direction. And the further down towards Amalfi you get, the narrower the road gets. Parts of the mountainside will jut out at you, and usually on a curve. And if you try to move too far away from the side, you're asking for a bus to come around the corner and clip you. And boy, we got into some little tight spots, and it got worse and worse. And what did we get? What town did we get to?
We went to Maiori, and stopped there.
And I stopped there and said, that's it. If you want to go to Amalfi, it's going to be on the bus, because I'm not driving another meter. And luckily I found a nice parking spot, and the bus came, and I was sure glad we changed to the bus, because from there to Amalfi, the road, I don't know how they do it. I mean, there were parts where they would have to stop, and somebody would have to kind of let some traffic go one way and then the other traffic go the other way, and guide the buses around the cars. And thank you, but no thanks. I would take a bus trip to Amalfi, but not drive it. That last part was much more. It was even stressful riding the bus when you're looking out the window and you can see the hillside right in your face. But we survived. We miraculously didn't scrape anything. I was surprised, considering how much the hills tended to jut out at places, and just no way to... There's nothing worse than the hill jutting out and somebody walking on the side of the road, and you having to decide what exactly to do, because if you get out too far in the other lane, chances of somebody whipping around a curve and beating you head on is pretty likely.
That's Padua. That's the town where we went to the music store. We actually didn't go to the Centro Storico, and it seems like easy drive. Maybe we could even go to this town.
Yeah, we should.
Look how beautiful. They have some kind of gated museum. So in the Centro Storico. Seems like it's easy to get to, maybe. But if you want to see a music store, episode about music store in Padua, we have a video about that.
Yeah. It was a nice music store. I ordered a pair of speakers for my studio, and they ordered them, got them in, and we picked them up. Had our obligatory coffee before we did the deal, but I think it helped the deal go through a little smoother.
Since we're talking about driving, how about you tell the story how we were driving in Tropea?
Yeah, I guess if Amalfi was bad, one of our trips to Tropea was even worse. I've since learned how to get to the parking area in Tropea. If you follow the signs, you're going to end up someplace you don't want to be. And finding your way out can be pretty interesting. One Christmas Day?
Christmas Day, yes.
We had gone, and I turned where it said to go to the town. And then there was a road work, so the road was closed. And the next thing I know, I'm heading down these streets, and all of a sudden the streets are getting narrower and narrower, and the buildings are closing in on me. And I realized I don't know where I'm at, and neither did Google Maps. And we got into a place where it basically just dead-ended in the center of Old Town. Luckily, I don't even think I was supposed to be there.
No, luckily it was tiny little bit, like little area between two, in front of the couple doors. I can't even imagine how we turned around there.
Well, then Anastasia had to get out of the car and walk in front of me and guide me because it was absolutely too narrow.
And around to one turn on another or anywhere to see if it goes anywhere. So she was actually
running
ahead to check the road.
And we actually found a gentleman who was out walking, and told him we didn't know exactly which way to go to get out and get back onto the main road. And
he walked in
front of us and showed us how to get back. And it wasn't that far, it wasn't that bad, but I would have never found it on my own. And we did. We got back out there, and after that I studied the map really carefully. I know where I'm parking, and it's actually very easy. You just don't turn when they tell you to turn.
Yeah, that's probably the trickiest Google direction there, because they absolutely don't send you absolutely wrong way.
Well, it's interesting where they put their signs so you'll go. Like going to Praia from Scala can be not too bad to being a horrible little drive, and you have to find there's two exits off the highway that go down to Praia. The first one isn't quite as clearly marked. I think it might even say San Nicola Praia, and you want to take that one. If you go a little bit further where there's a big sign that says Praia, it takes you down the hill. Again, narrower, and there were some points where I swear we were driving through somebody's backyard.
Yeah.
And the cliff on one side and their house on the other, and it was grassy, it wasn't even a road. And since then I've talked to other people who have had the exact same experience. There probably is a turn that avoids that, but if you follow Google Maps, they try to take you the shortest way, and I guess it's a legal way, but I swear we could have had a chat with some of these people about what they're eating for dinner as we pass by. So it can be challenging. In general, the maps are helpful. They've actually got better over the years. Before, they really didn't know what they were doing. Where we just somehow getting from the state highway up to this main highway, freeway, used to be like cutting through somebody's field. It wasn't even, now there's a nice on-ramp. But before, it was like just some little tiny roads. And it was like, this is a field. But it got you where you were going. So, well, the thing to do is don't stress out too much. You'll get there sooner or later. But definitely having Google Maps or Apple Maps or one of those to tell you where you're at, so you can at least get it kind of fix it. You kind of miss one turn, you're not really going the wrong way, but you're not really going a way that you'd want to go. And coming from Tropea too, there's a couple of places, well, if you miss a slight roundabout or go off the wrong one, you're lost. So, hopefully it's not just us. But again, we've talked to other people and we don't think we're the only ones having this problem. But like I say, it gets easier and easier the longer you spend, the more time you spend here.
The road is beautiful though.
Yeah, this is a very nice drive. The colors of the trees in it's beautiful. Kind of almost fall-like here. It's funny how it changes from our area to here. All the various vegetations change radically.
But see, Anastasia just came here from Paris, and yesterday we were on a trip, and she was like amazed how green everything is here, because in other parts of the world with the winter there is nothing anymore. I hear like everything green, but here a little bit not, but in general you still feel this Mediterranean climate.
Yeah. Actually, after the rain stopped, it was warm out today.
Yeah,
we were leaving.
Now it's like almost hot in the car.
Yeah.
It's really nice. See, like little house here. Somebody lives here. I mean, laundry, of course, on the balcony. And beautiful. So, okay, we were talking, oh no, I don't know, for quite a while. Maybe we can finish for now, but we hope you would like it.
We hope you keep watching and subscribing and liking our videos.
Subscribe and like.
Turn on the bell button so you're notified anytime we do these streams.
In general, do you like the streams? Because we don't know. Sometimes when we don't have the response, we don't even know anybody's watching, people like it. Do you actually like to listen us talking, or you like to see just the views? So things like that. So let us know, please. We new vloggers, so we just
We're trying something new this year. It's fun for us.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of live streams coming up where we've invited some guests, which should be really interesting. A lot of interesting people around Scala, both natives and expats, I guess, or visitors like us.
Yeah.
And they all got stories, and they're all interesting. I mean, we love talking to people about how they found this area, their thoughts are, and I think getting some different viewpoints, would be good to give you a broader picture of what it's like and how everybody reacts to it. Because everybody reacts to the area differently. What are your expectations? What's your reality? It's different for each person or each family. We have ours. We know how we felt about it. We know how we've reacted to it, and it's interesting to see how other people, react to this area. It's frankly different. I mean, it's if your experience is northern Italy, the Tuscany and the general touristy areas, it's a much different experience down here. They're not catering to foreign tourists as much. I think that there are more things that are familiar to to us. I think part of it is some of that just comes in because people are interested in it themselves locally, and some of it is because there are people here who are probably looking for different foods, different kind of things, and I think a lot of that's good. Like my concern is always, I don't want to just like Italian Disneyland where it turns into too much fakeness. I like the reality. Even if the reality is a pile of rocks, it's more interesting than a fake environment, and people. No fast food. I hope that never shows up. Fast food here is arancini, which I love.
Yeah, I see. Yesterday we actually had fast food, Italian fast food, in the town. Where did we go? Agropoli. We went to Agropoli. We found right in the center, I guess, fast food place. So they had calzone cut, so it was empty calzone. Then they cut it on one side, and they put sausages and French fries inside, and it was very good. It was a little bit like fast food, but it was totally Italian, and it tasted totally Italian. So, yeah, something like that I'm up to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, arancini is always like the best fast food Italian. Yeah.
And our restaurant in Scala, Siciliane, right down on the main piazza, has the best. They're fresh. They're a big variety. My favorite is a ragu with
piselli.
Peas in it, which is a classic. But we had one that was mushroom and cheese, which is wow, just wonderful. And there were some others like pistachio and some other things I didn't quite. I recognize it, but the combination was interesting.
Well, see, we are foodie.
Yeah.
When talking about driving, we still go into food. We like food, and that's why you see the food almost in every video that we make.
Well, that's a big attraction for living in this area is the food. Right now, there are a lot of the restaurants are closed, maybe on vacation. But it's fine. With our new apartment, I have a really good kitchen. I love my kitchen, and I'm the cook in the family.
And it's separate. We have
Separate kitchen.
like they call it. We have a proper living room because it's just a living room, and kitchen is in another part of the town of the
House.
house.
Yeah, it's almost the other part of town.
Yeah, I know. Our apartment is very interesting. It's long.
But cooking with local ingredients, you know, it enhances what you're cooking. Last night we made soup, and we made soup because our store, Deco, usually in the winter, I've never seen this in other parts of the year, but always in the colder months, they will have in the produce section a little tray that has an assortment of the vegetables you need to make soup. You have an onion, you have a potato, you have celery, you have a tomato, there was a zucchini, some spinach. And it was enough that I chopped it all up, used the bouillon cubes, added some, actually, like the bean soup they have here, canned bean soup, and I put a can of that in there, as opposed to just putting a can of beans. And it kind of thickens a little bit, and then I put some pasta, little small pastas in there. We had a nice minestrone.
It was very good. Well, we don't call it minestrone because, you know, Italians are very particular.
It was close.
You can't call something if it's not exactly the recipe. But it was very good. It was very good.
It was better than Olive Garden.
Yeah, and it's definitely was Italian. She had this Italian taste.
It's because when you're cooking with local ingredients, it's always going to be slightly more Italian than. You know, here, like the celery is more aromatic, whereas in the States, the celery has been, you know, factory farmed to not bruise, and they managed to breed all the taste out of it. And, you know, you have to go buy organic to get anything with any flavor in it. Here, you know, it's the way it comes. You know, the spinach, everything was very flavorful. And I make a lot of soup back in America, and I used to have to work on it a little harder to make the flavor pop out. But here it kind of just, the ingredients are there. So I love cooking here. I can find most everything. I only have to bring my corn tortillas.
Yeah, that one you can't.
I'm going to have a little shootout at some point of the different salsas they have. There's a few different ones I've found. I usually bring one of my own. But we're gonna put some together and taste them and get everybody's opinion at some point. We have all these ideas. We'll see if we get to them all this trip. We still have a bunch of ideas left over from our last trip.
Yeah.
And we hope to get to it.
We hope. Yeah.
And sometimes we have a lot of ideas, but then we have a lot of relaxing to do, and it's
we're still traveling a lot also. So.
yeah, we're traveling and just relaxing. I was thinking yesterday I had to walk to Conad, which is from the center of town to the Conad's close to half an hour, maybe a little around there somewhere. And if you told me I had to walk that far in America, I'd say you're crazy. You know, just drive there. Here it was like, what else am I doing? You know, I've got the time. It was a nice walk. Emma and I walked. We had a nice, stroll in the afternoon, and there you go. You killed an afternoon. and it doesn't feel like you wasted any time either. I still got a lot of stuff done that day.
And
So,
then even if you walk to the store, you're still in Italy.
yeah. And we found a lot of back streets in Scala, which if you stay on the main thoroughfares, you get one impression of the town. There are a lot of very Italian
Alleys.
yeah, they're
Alleys.
almost alleys, but they're just smaller streets.
Yeah.
And they make you really feel like you're in Italy. You know, when we first came here, it was back up and down Via Lauro, or what's the other one, Fiumilao? The two one-way streets that go north and south. And it gives you a totally different impression of the town than when you actually start going off the main road. You know, and having those little streets to go on really changes your perception, changes your feel about what you're doing. It actually even helps you slow down because everything feels slower.
This one is also a long one.
So, wow, this is really long.
This one big and long. It's like grand. This is kind of Italian architecture. Wow. This is like something really massive. Wow, through the whole mountain.
Yeah.
Really somewhere. Look at this, is so cool.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that we're now using this special on the phone that called Director's View, where you can see back and front. I can change the cameras and see. That's why you can kind of drive with us, ride with us, where you can see what we see almost, not, but at least better than just us always. Oh, see, look at this town on the hill. Oh, it's so picturesque. Oh, Mamma mia, look at that one. Oh, it's just so beautiful. And the all these hills around us, everywhere, towns. I can see.
Going to hill towns.
Hill towns. Here and under this town, there is a tunnel. Maybe we're going in again. Wow, that little town, little train down there was. Okay, so we talked a lot.
Yes,
Wow,
we did.
we talked not just about driving. See, we started driving, but then we also needed to slip into food.
Yeah, and if you have any ideas on things you'd like to know more about especially in Calabria, whether it's about living there or places to go or anything, put them in the comments. We like the comments. Like we've said before, some of our comments have actually inspired a lot of our videos. And we're always open to that. We'd like to hear from you about your own experience, if you had some. So, I think we've talked enough.
Okay, so we are finishing for now. We'll see you next time. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening wherever you are.
There's a police car back there.
Police back there.
The lane is closed suddenly.
Okay, so
All
we
right.
better go and pay attention to the road. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
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 Ciao.